But we are into pick and ban here for our final game of the day. LYON taking on Shopify Rebellion. They framed it from the analysts. This is the battle, the top of the bottom four from last split. If you win this matchup, you're putting your name in the conversation as a team that can punch up Kobe, because it seems like the line between the top four and the bottom four might be shakier this split.
Yeah, I mean, LYON have started off this split really successfully, though I would say Shopify, you know, with running the exact same comp in their first two games, also showing some really big improvements. There were two main things for me with this Shopify lineup that I needed to see changing in split number two. Number one was Contractz and Palafox looking way more proactive and aggressive and actually pulling off some plays. They blew that out of the park here in the first couple games. The Nefiri was a critical part. Of course, that is banned out here by LYON. You don't have to do any research to figure out why they banned that one out. Contractz was just invading over and over and did really well with the Nefiri. So permaban there. Oddielan even said they were going to do this. The second thing is
that leaking draft strats?
Yeah, that they showed on stage. The second thing is that Seoul were just now incorporated into the team, and they flawlessly incorporated him. You love to see whenever a support joins the team, them playing really well with the jungler, because lane phase is like, okay, yeah, you want to play well with your AD carry and you want to play in lane phase, but the true test is oftentimes how well you play with your jungler, and that was what was very impressive in the first couple of games there of the new lineup.
Seoul was at the hip of Contractz, but it is important to note Shopify are on the red side now as opposed to the blue side, so we'll see if that changes, if they want to go for as aggressive as invades with the Sejuani. I'm leaning more no. This seems more like a play for the team unless they have a melee champion somewhere else that can help stack that up. But with the Azir early answer into the Yone, not likely going to be that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, taking away the Sejuani too is a lot about breaking up Yone Sejuani. They're like, we are not going to let Oddielan pick up the Sejuani because Yone with that CC potential is just way too dangerous. And Yone versus an Azir matchup is always kind of on a knife's edge here with the Yone looking for the kill pressure. So nice little takeaway pick in the Sejuani. It's still going to give, you know, a frontline champion in the Maokai there to Oddielan, but do kind of like the way this one is looking, because Saint was very good on the Yone. This is a mechanically intensive player, and Licorice has always really liked the Rumble on top side, so much so that they're willing to blind pick here, even with some good possible pairings still available.
If you just won Player of the Week, might as well play a carry. So excited to see Saint back on the Yone, but you're right about that Rumble being blind pick. Now we get to see what Fudge wants to play into it. Now I will say, across Alliance performances, I'd say Licorice had the shakier performance in their two wins. He did die a few times solo in side lanes, so this is going to be tough now to see if Fudge can get a lead. Can Licorice stabilize, or can he prevent Fudge from finding that lead to begin with?
And you were earlier talking about, oh, you know, where's Contractz going to want to play around? Honestly, I think both solo lanes are pretty decent, because if you kind of mirror the mid lane and make sure that the Yone, you know, burn cooldowns off it and don't let the Yone get kill pressure on the Azir, then you can kind of win that way. But also, just go up and play with an Ambessa in some skirmishes, because that will be a very good usage to proc your CC advantage as well. So Contractz as well still going to be critical here in the operation of this game and these early lane phases. So down to the bottom lane though, because bot lane is what we left open. Kangas.
All AD carry bans. We'll see if any support bans come through. So far, we're 3-4-3 with AD carries, which means that pool will be heavily pinched. The Varus already taken off the table from earlier. That's like the premier blue one AD carry right now that we've seen in the meta. But now we could have a game where we're going into that, you know, A tier, B tier of AD carries, because there are 5 total bot laners taken off the table.
Yeah, Kai'Sa, Corki are both pretty good, still available here. And then you start getting like Jhin, and we know we saw an earlier Caitlyn if you want to do like a hard push lane.
But like, honestly, a Kai'Sa to follow up the Ambessa, Sejuani, or for the Yone, like, I think it could work for either one of these compositions, but instead, looks like it could be an AD carry counter pick for Shopify Rebellion. They want to go for the Rakan for Seoul.
Yeah, some good engage there. The Sejuani and the Rakan, pretty reliable dual threat engage. very good setup for that Ambessa ult. And here we go. Since you have so much engage layered on, what is the classic counter engage AD carry? It is Xayah. So let's see, actually, because Kai'Sa Xayah also is kind of the most seen matchup. But what does Bvoy want to do? Does he want to shake it up a little bit here? They do have Sejuani plus Rakan plus Ambessa ultimates to play off of. So plenty of options here.
Kai'Sa would, again, be tempting, but the Xayah does make that harder. Even the Maokai, too. I mean, you're pretty short range unless you're going in for that killer instinct, so you can't get locked down, but Bvoy is not deterred. Will lock in the Kai'Sa regardless, so this is a lot of all-in potential from Shopify's roster right now. Even the Azir can follow up from quite long range, or even be the one to start things off, depending if Palafox is getting spicy or not, but it is all gas, very little breaks in this kind of position.
Yeah, hoping for an action-packed game here. The last one we saw, was a little bit weird. The last game we had, it was, Yone was talking about it. It was like, it got a little long, it got a little weird.
3 clean quarters. That's how we call that one.
This one, I'm definitely on board with you. They are positioned with these champions to create a lot of fights, and I certainly think that they will follow through on that.
And I will say, just going back into the excitement for this match in particular, it's really going to solidify the top of the bottom 4 teams from last split, but also there's a world where Shopify Rebellion could have been 2-0 going into this, and this could have been a battle to maintain an undefeated streak. For right now, it's only LYON that could do so, but they could go into their 4th day here in Split 2 undefeated. Let's see if they can do that or if Shopify will take them down. And we are back into the rip for our final game of the day, LYON versus Shopify Rebellion. And early on here, no invades. We're just spotting each other out. Oddielan and Contractz will play the wave game, throwing up some emotes.
Yeah, and kind of keeping track of enemy jungle is going to be a key priority there for Mr. Contractz in this game, because if he's able to do that, I really do like the comp that Shopify have been able to grab for themselves here. Of course, there's a lot of explosive potential on the side of LYON. You know, we've all seen big Maokai ultimates catching people for those large Yone Rumble combinations. And Hena should be very self-sufficient, which is something that you really need. You know, a lot of the players, even online, the team themselves talked about that some of the communication issues are still there.
Yeah.
And so it's nice as an AD carry to have that Xayah ultimate to rely and peel yourself.
Exactly. But you will have to communicate. Lyonz is on the engage. Seoul's also on an engage tool for them. And you highlighted the fact that Shopify Rebellion looks so much better with Seoul. Lyonz also has a list of accolades. Both of these guys are legends in their own right.
We've got the 4-time CBLOL champion Seoul versus the 3-time LLA champion Lyonz here in the bottom lane. Going to be trading away fairly early. And yeah, I mean, we talked about it, but the Xayah Kai'Sa is one of the most classic AD carry matchups in the history of competitive League of Legends.
Back when I was first getting into League, this was very popular. I started back in 2015, so I remember seeing a lot of Kai'Sa versus Xayah in the following years after that. But early lane trading here for Palafox. This is the range advantage of the Azir. The Yone really starts to come back online once you get to level 2 and above. Nice trading right now, but especially once you get towards that first item. But for a bit here, Azir can bully you out. This time it's actually Palafox getting slightly bullied. Yeah, that last Q hitting really nice there. Versus the Yone, it's always like, all right, how many of these Qs can I sidestep when he's just zerking at me? Because you can't do anything about it when he's going to E at you and go for these trades. And it really determines a lot of the matchup, how many jungle visits, even jungle visits that don't actually turn into kills, can influence this matchup fairly heavily because the health values are so critical in that balance of going for the deep trades, trying to get the flashes down so you can have
kill pressure towards your level 6 or not if you're on the receiving end of those kills. So we will see vision wards around mid lane be critical here, especially in the early stages, as well as possible visits from either of these setup junglers.
I mean, as you had been highlighting, even in pick ban, Contractz can hover around the Ambessa. That's a melee to play through. You can hover mid to make sure that you're safe. And right now, Contractz is pathing towards the top side. I got the look at the top wave. It looks like currently Fudge is a slightly push in, but oh, it could push back. No, he's actually going to keep that pressure up in that lane right now, but maybe Licorice will force it to bounce back.
Go back in, grab your grass proc. All right, so as you mentioned though, both junglers, well,
nice
never
engage.
mind.
Bvoy taking a big amount of damage here, rooted up. Might have to flash, use the cleanse already, holds the second summoner spell, but still LYON with some action in the bot lane early.
And it's a really, really big win, even not killing him, because now Bvoy is very low health, under tower. It's going to allow Hena and Lyonz to finish pushing that in.
Contractz has to immediately head bot side here. Yeah,
they actually don't go up to contest him on it or anything, and Contractz is going to wrap right around them.
Oh, no more Arctic Soul.
Could be a big
long
turnaround
cooldown
here
on that, so I think Contractz is just waiting for his cooldowns to come back. I want to say it's around 15 seconds at this point. You might have 2 points in it right now. Actually, I can see it's on the W. Yeah, okay, so 19 seconds, very long. But coming up here, thank you, observers. Now Contractz could look for it. Xayah was going to be the one to actually start things off here. We engage onto Hena, and Lyonz actually playing goalie incredibly well, is uninterrupted on the crash down. Big damage, but doesn't have to burn the flash. Hena almost forces more out of Bvoy. So Shopify Rebellion, they look for the play, but I mean, Lyonz and Hena played that very well.
Yeah, they did. They didn't have to burn any summoner spells themselves at all. Thankfully for Contractz, because you know, it was the clear the other way. It's not going to you know, it wasn't a big time investment for him.
True.
So he can just go into a second clear now. But the bottom lane...
Oddielan might stop him from doing that. Is knocked up. Smite secure from Contractz. Oddielan not able to take that one away, but they're just bullying Shopify Rebellion away from this wave and actually proxying between the turrets.
Yeah, it's not a big deal for Contractz, but it is a big deal for the bottom lane.
Yeah.
With Hena and Lyonz being able to push them back behind the tower, away from the minion wave, and being able to whittle off that turret plate as well.
It's TP from Fudge, so this is going to force the lane assignment here from Shopify Rebellion.
Oof, nobody touched it. Okay, so turret plate into the dirt, and teleport also used, as you say, for that swap.
Honestly, all things considered, not a bad window there for Shopify Rebellion. Yes, Bvoy Seos got pushed away, but that was a pretty natural timer to go topside anyway, because the grubs are coming up here in 20 seconds. So it looks nice from LYON for a moment, but in the grand scheme of things, I think Shopify Rebellion are very comfortable with the state of things right now. We've just reassigned everybody, and we get to the top lane first, as Contractz is already taking away his Raptors. Could look for these grubs next. Early control ward placed by Seos, and now he just gets poked out a little bit. That is one of the primary engages, and he's not that tanky at this point.
I'd say biggest thing is still going to remember that Licorice has teleport and has Rumble ultimate. So Shopify have to be very, very careful with this possible skirmish up here. If you do it quickly and you force a teleport and then back off,
we're just going to make the play instead. Hena in some trouble, gets knocked up, still has the flash and the barrier, and is able to just walk away from that one just fine. Now Lyonz re-engage on the Contractz. Oddielan goes on a long journey, but the fate sealed over the top from Saint. First blood to Oddielan.
Yeah, that was a very long twisted advance. Takes it all the way in and bumps it right back into Saint's ult. Really good synergy from this LYON team. That was the biggest thing we were worried about for this team, was always going to be coordination. How do they coordinate? Well, League of Legends is its own language, Kangas, and there you go. Saint speaks it fluently, so followed that one up with the Yone ultimate. Maokai actually getting the kill credit, not ideal, but it's still very, very effective. They get the big win here and get the objectives.
I love how quickly they get off the grubs, though. Like, this is showing LYON they are making these plays together.
Yeah, and nice little bump back into the Saint ultimate to clean that one up. So really good start for them. And it did not really force an immediate dragon answer, but they are progressing down towards the dragon at the moment.
I don't think we'll see any action immediately on it, so I want to highlight again strength of schedule. This is the positioning phase here. We're going to go into the group stage best of threes as Lyonz don't find the engaged bot side. But it's important to note that Lion have played a easy strength of schedule, you could argue, early on here and maybe get punished as Saint has to flash Contractz. Look at a gank right there. But this is the last of Lyon's easy path to a kind of undefeated start of the bottom four, right? They're only playing against the other teams that were in that bottom four with them.
Yeah, so this is a critical test for them. Meanwhile, Shopify here looking to jump up into the upper half. So let's see. Contractz successful burn on Saint's flash, and the Yone ult is almost back and available from the earlier usage in the top fight, so he should feel fairly safe regardless of that one being burned. And Oddielan gets in here. Maokai, it's so nice. You clear the ward, you replace them with saplings of your own, and all of a sudden, everything is right back in control there for Lion.
You can use the saplings to watch the ward, or the brushes, make sure no one's in there as well. Very useful champion for reestablishing control. Still not going to prioritize the dragon, even though they had pushed bot side. Lyonz goes for a reset here and is actually running towards the top half of the map. So as of right now, neither team seems heavily invested into this dragon.
Yeah, interesting to see what he can get done up on the top side, because Fudge does have flash. Contractz, of course, is down from the long twisted advanced play, but looks like they're just going to go for a good old-fashioned gank on Fudge. I mean, it's an Ambessa that does have flash up, so let's see what they can manage here.
Yeah, Fudge is going to have to be very careful here. Already, the equalizer goes down. Fudge has the flash available, and gets interrupted on the public execution, and Oddielan picks up another kill.
Maokai ult is just goated, Kangas.
I guess so.
the ultimate tags him right as he was going for his own ultimate, because he was going to try an Ambessa ult over to the Rell, then flash towards the turret, but when the roots are grasping there, locked him up, and no summoner spell down for Fudge, though another extra kill here quite seamlessly for Lion. They're just racking them up.
Good timers.
Nice gold lead for themselves. They're looking like very well positioned to do a second grub fight there in a minute.
And this is what I'll say about Lyonz, or the team Lion, is that yes, their first two opponents were some of the bottom place teams from last split, but they looked controlled in their victories. They took a little while to end some of those games. They were going for every single inhibitor, really making sure that they were checking all their boxes. But an early game like this feels the exact same, where they are just checking the boxes. They're playing the map. They're playing well on their timers. Right now, they are giving Shopify Rebellion a window at the Dragon, though. So I want to see, do they try and contest? They still don't have flash on Saint, so they might just let this go.
Yeah, I think probably for sure here, because Grubs are only 30 seconds away, but I guess the only other detriment is like that the Maokai keeps getting the last hits on the kills.
Item complete.
It's a very early Unending Despair. Unending Despair is not quite the rush item that it used to be after it was correctly identified as being mega OP. And
I believe the term is a problem.
Yeah, it was a problem, and now it is just an item. It's a thing. It's decent.
It's in the game. I see it in the inventory. So
anyways, with that, he is going to be able to start that second pack up. Though it is on vision, I don't think it's going to be too explosive here. Both supports are kind of roaming over. You see the lane roam from Lyonz before this vision toggle, by the way. But the Rell roaming up there to Licorice for a possible lane gank. And Rell is going to stay in the alcove while they finish off the grubs, but I wonder if Fudge can, look at the minimap. Fudge is like trying to chase, find out Lyonz, but I don't think he actually got visual confirmation of the Rell, but he does take down the ward. Okay.
And Lyonz will give up on the attempt, so farce is over. It was just there to create pressure, I suppose, and in case maybe Fudge tried to hard shove the wave, but that is 6 grubs picked up as, Saint able to jump away from Palafox right there. So with the 6 grubs picked up by Lion, theoretically, this will allow them to take the turrets much faster. And, I mean, it is desynced with the dragons for early on, but now the Herald is going to be more synced up with the dragons. That's another thing that we'll have to keep track of. Because that first dragon happened so late, we have a rare instance where it's not like a big accelerated dragon stacking trade that Shopify Rebellion got for those grubs.
Yeah, and it's going to be also, you know, how much turret plate money can you get before those run out with the grubs?
Yep.
Because once you get 6, there's not a lot of time to work with, but you can really power through some turret plate money. So another really, really close low one here on the bottom side, but
which currently I think they've gotten 0 because they weren't close enough to get the 1, and I can't tell mid lane right now. Oh no, there's a couple there. All right, so Saint was able to get some work done. Yeah, I think that's when the dragon was actually being taken. Palafox left the lane and Saint got in there. So can LYON utilize this early enough to get some additional gold in their pocket? As of right now, their assignments are sending their bot laners mid and their mid laner bot.
Yeah, and it has a lot of this has been Hena pressure in lane. Hena and Lyonz from the very beginning, you know, pretty good job getting some pressure just themselves, dealing with the enemy jungle, and then even after they rotated into mid lane, keeping that pressure and keeping that pushing up.
Ooh, aggression from Hena. Speaking of, the Feather Recall does not root up Bvoy, but still, message delivered. Bvoy cannot contest the Xayah in lane right now without the help of the support. The Berserker Greaves advantage from Hena, given that move speed as well as the attack speed.
And again, another minion wave annihilated.
Yep.
And it's going to be mid priority for Lyonz here. So they're actually going to rotate Hena on up to this top side with the jungler too. They're going to get seen over that ward.
Yeah, and now they're getting engaged on. Lyonz is quite tanky, so not going to die.
It's that defensive ward by the red buff. Yeah, thank you, observers. That Shopify ward that saw the rotation over. Plus, you know, your mid lane just got pushed in. So even though Shopify mess around with the engage, you do not actually want that fire.
But because LYON, ooh, nice little contest there. Because LYON did not continue pushing the mid, look at that. We're at 14 minutes. So the plates have fallen, and Hena had an opportunity to walk up and just hit that turret with the 6 scrubs. Instead, looked to group. So I guess that's a small inefficiency.
I'm too greedy. You know, I would have done that for sure. Also, they were looking for the team play.
Oh, speaking of, Shopify Rebellion looked for their own team engage onto Oddielan. They'll get the flash out of the Maokai.
Okay, interesting. So Sejuani ult and Ambessa ult down for a possible fight. Even though Maokai ult flash is very good, having ultimates, if there's actually going to be a fight here on next objective.
I mean, we still have a minute. I imagine those will be, if not up, very close to being up by the time those spawn. So I actually like that window from Shopify to look for something.
Yeah, let's see if there's going to be any opportunity for LYON to try and force any sort of skirmish. Because, yeah, I mean, if you can just farm it out now from Shopify's side, that feels great.
Yeah.
Their farming has been a little bit punishing, though. LYON have definitely been keeping on the pressure and making it difficult for them.
But a lot of the gold lead here has just been the kills. And a couple of plates here and there, but it hasn't amounted to a massive lead for LYON by any stretch. This is a very close game going into this next dragon spawning. 20 seconds, and currently LYON are controlling the approach. So Shopify Rebellion will have to find a way to get in there, whether that's through bot lane, whether that's through mid lane. Right now they're trying to maintain their push on both, but Palafox is all alone, has the ward to spot out, so he's trying to play very safe from this position.
Okay. Yep, they still have to be a little bit worried because, again, no Sejuani ultimate. Even the cooldown's close. Close does not cut it, buddy.
Yep. We have
early on, the cooldown's really long, so LYON are just going to start this objective up. I think that is a very good call.
Yeah.
You know, Shopify, no, we don't have the tools right now. That's yours.
All right, so the timers did actually come up. Contractz and Fudge not having their ults available to contest the dragon. LYON were there immediately on spawn and will deny any more dragon stacking. So now they picking up 3 neutral objectives in towards the feats of strength, and they're pushing Shopify Rebellion away from this mid turret. They're gonna try and siege it down here. Big damage with those grubs. Engage from Seoul. LYON's trying to jump away. Contractz now has the ultimate available. One more hit on the turret, and they just barely get it. I believe that was the burn damage coming through. So LYON cracking the first turret, picking that up.
Yeah, they're looking really, really good so far. Fudge messing around.
Yeah. And that was also the feats of strength picked up right there, because the 3 neutral objectives plus first turret. Only 2 kills so far in this 16.5-minute game. Shopify Rebellion will look to pick up another neutral objective for themselves now, as the Herald has spawned. LYON look to approach, and they have Saint in the wings. Looking for that flank. That would have been a terrifying moment for Shopify Rebellion to try and hold their ground, so I think it's wise for them to back off.
I agree. Can they make a pick here?
I mean, they're actually going to go for a public execution onto the tank. Chain CC trying to lock down Oddielan, but now that just re-engaged from Lyonz. Oddielan goes back in. Licorice, big damage, roasting through the health bars of Shopify Rebellion. Hena wasn't even needed in that fight. Now joins in. It's a double kill to the top laner. Lion roar to life, and we'll pick up 2.
Okay, this went from like, all right, you got on some options still, maybe Shopify, to an emphatic shutdown of that possibility, because Saint is able to make the counterplay up here and then teleport down to answer the split push.
And also gets ultimate out of Palafox. Didn't have the Fate Sealed available, still forces Emperor's Divide.
Yeah, so Shopify were trying to keep up their split push there with Palafox on the bottom side, but yeah, Saint goes to answer it.
Yeah.
Uses his teleport, and not only do they get the extra kills here through the fight, taking away that Rift Trail to finish up one of these side towers with it.
See, Hena, he grouped up with the team, didn't push mid. Palafox ain't that type of guy. He's like, nope, I want the bot side. And it seemed like Shopify Rebellion, they had a nice start to it. They just didn't have enough damage over the top here. As we'll get a replay. Oh, yeah, it's the Licorice cam.
Yeah, he is joining the fight. Meanwhile, you can see on the minimap, Palafox, as you were about to say, is opting not to teleport into this because it was already winning there for the side of Lion. So he continues to try and split push. But yeah, I mean, you can say, hey, Shopify, we're probably saying this Maokai still has no flash.
You guys can kite back. I can't TP, guys. There's no ward.
Okay,
well, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no ward. Maybe the reason that way they went for it in the first place was talking about that, because it definitely did not turn out in their favor with how deep that went. But
and even though Saint didn't get fed in that play, he still was a big part of it, using the Fate Sealed over the top, flashing forward to get the extra damage so that Licorice could pick up the kills. There's a reason he got Player of the Week. He's not the really standout premier carry right now, getting all the kills, getting super fed, but he is still performing for this team and is really adding a lot of excitement around this roster and the potential damage it can do as Fudge looks to do damage to Licorice. 1v1, dancing around the equalizer, and Licorice says, bet! I will take that 1v1. Palafox comes in, Emperor's Divide into the wall. Licorice still trying to roast him down, will get shut down, but that was a 2-for-1 and a 1-for-1 trade. Lion will take it.
Yeah, they're so happy to take it because it's a huge dub. They're able to get out the extra resources of the teleport, which also opens up your bottom side of the map for perfect Rift Herald usage, where they get a secondary turret on top of that outer turret that they were pushing. And the secondary side ones are the most expensive turrets in the entire game, so the gold lead just balloons there for Lion.
Yeah.
Even with
Fate Sealed, he's still going for it. Double knockup from Saint as he looks for that Q3. Nice quickness from Seos to keep the AD carry alive. Bvoy did not have to use a sum.
Okay, definitely a fun one, but we're going to end it at just the fun. Here's another look at Licorice, and that was the key there. He turned around his Flame Spitter as the ultimate came through. So the public execution was not for me, that was for you. Better call the ambulance, buddy.
Yeah, that's a public execution in a... It's the big vat of fire right there. Usually you need the J4 for the hot pot, but Licorice doing it himself right now. Bloodletter's Curse picked up as well. He's going to be shredding through any member of Shopify Rebellion that's in a side lane against him.
Yeah, that thing is actually painful, being on the receiving end. That with the Leandries is a very powerful 2-item power spike. Licorice definitely doing well for himself this game on that Rumble pick. So let's see as they have Saint himself, I believe, burning down this dragon. I'm assuming that's what Yone is doing in there. There we go. We get a little cam on him. And finish up the Chemtech Drake while the rest of the team just keeps eyes on Shopify to deny the cross map or any sort of plan they might be coming up with.
There's no damage here on the Oddielan. Oddielan could always threaten the Smite Steal. I like that assignment there. Nobody was near Saint. He just gets the dragon himself. 5 kills to 1 in favor of Lion. About 4,000 gold lead just shy, and they're also stacking up the dragons. Things are looking fantastic early in the split for this roster that wasn't able to get things to come together in split 1, but this is a different look for a team. They have Lyonz here. They have everybody grouping at the Oddielan, and they are forcing Shopify Rebellion to answer the play. That's Contractz, Glacial Prison, swing and a miss. Doesn't land on anybody. Now the re-engage coming in from LYON, and a teleport from Fudge straight to his grave.
Cut the tape, Kangas.
Yeah, this is looking done and dusted. LYON will get a pick as well as the Oddielan.
Licorice like sidesteps the Sejuani ult, and then you see the teleport is coming in so deep, you already know it's doomed. It's like, you see the little ball of light coming through, and it's like, Kangas, no!
Fudge's life flashed before his eyes. He had a long time. It's a long channel for the teleport now to really think about it.
The safety eject button on that teleport.
Can we divert course? Can we do like a Mel, like presses W, it bounces you back where you came from type of thing?
Yeah, maybe they should add a emergency eject.
You get one. You get one per game.
Yeah, I like that. You know, with the way that they kind of nerfed teleport, being so slow early on.
You know what? Let's not even talk to the designers about this. Let's just put it in the game. I think that you and I definitely have enough.
Secret little button. We'll just,
we don't even tell. It's not in the patch notes. If you press spacebar, up, left, down,
we
right.
can abuse this power then. If we just can add stuff to the game without telling anyone, we can just add all kinds of things to.
I mean, that's how they did it back on the SNES. You know, they didn't tell you that there were secret cheats in there.
Okay, well, let's see how they spend their money on the side of Lime, and it looks like it's going to be liberally on the side here of Lime, because everybody is going to be a giant threat now. All that's left for them is to close the loop on the map. They've got their Oddielan revivals. They are all, each and every one of them, quite rich, so they can just go push 3 lanes and then look for people who are trying to rotate between the objectives and just force your plays.
They bought low, and they got rewarded for it right now, as one rough play from Shopify after another has netted the Rebels a very, very stiff hill to climb. Steep hill to climb. Stiff hill? That's not a word. Steep hill. There we go.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that one, the second one. Steve.
And now we have another engage coming in from LYON under the turret. And nice quickness coming in from Seoul to try and buy space, but Licorice behind them just shreds through everybody. LYON can do no wrong. Turret don't matter. They take the fight, and they'll take 2 kills.
They will, and they're not going to give you anything back. So no trade. It's just to take.
They'll even give Bvoy's flash, just for fun.
Okay,
for good measure.
Take a little bit more there. Saint wasn't happy with just the kills and the tower. Always wanting more. No flash for Bvoy. He's only level 12 on the Kai'Sa, but he's about to tick over. There you go. Level 13 at least achieved. And it's going to be a rough one here for the rest of the squad. You mentioned early on that with the first dragon actually being given over to Shopify, that at least it wasn't going to be a super early soul in this game. But I would go further and say LYON aren't going to need the soul to end this game. They can just get Baron and force another play.
But I'm happy you bring that up, because that is one of the slight criticisms that I had for LYON last weekend. Yes, it was 2 wins, clean wins, but they took a long time to close out those games. They really dotted their I's, crossed their T's, made sure everything was done before they went for the push. So there is a chance that they do the same thing here and give Shopify Rebellion windows. But speaking of, Palafox looks for that one, just gets barrier out of Hena, and that could mean mid-turret.
I mean, it's kind of big, actually, right? Because Hena's down to 30% HP, plus the barrier that you mentioned.
And now we're just going to engage here onto Oddielan. The tank is not tanking, and that's a shutdown for Bvoy.
When all else fails, Kangas, group 5 and go mid.
Nayram, baby. We own that.
All right, so now Baron is on the table. The enemy jungler is dead. Here we go. Time to force. They don't have the Sejuani or the Ambessa ultimate.
We have Equalizer from Licorice, though. That could be the big play here for LYON. If they lose this Baron, that is rough. Bvoy, big damage, just he is half health running away. Seo's again trying to buy space for the team, almost dies in the attempt. LYON do not get the Baron, they do not get the kills, but they push Shopify Rebellion off of the objective.
Yeah, Licorice says, I will burn you all. Gets them off of that, so.
That was huge for LYON to do, because that would have been cascading failures right there. Hena getting chunked out mid, then they get the turret, then they take down the jungler. If Shopify Rebellion had also gotten the Baron, suddenly they're right back in this game, but as it is, I think LYON have kind of stabilized, and Zane's going to go for another solo dragon.
Burn, baby, burn, though. I'm really just looking at Licorice death cap here.
Oh, wow, he's close.
Rumble with death cap, Liandry's, and the extra shred. Oh,
yeah. That is going to be a problem for Shopify Rebellion to deal with. At least doesn't have, like, immediate magic.
There it is.
The Bloodletters has to do a little burning first.
The death cap completed here.
Does Equalizer now one-shot Bvoy? If he gets that same angle, because Bvoy had to run through the Equalizer to get out of the pit.
If Bvoy stood on it, for sure.
Yeah.
If anything locks him in place on it, yeah, it's going to kill him. As long as you're saying one shot as like all the ticks add up. Yeah. As long as you're not being one of the...
Just that one ability for damage.
One shot would have to be one instance of damage.
He had to get Liandry's burn for that one. Yeah, all right. Well, it is going to be burning down the Baron for right now. LYON are issuing a challenge to Contractz. Can El Contracto get in there and steal this Baron away? Or actually, is it just a bait to try and force Shopify to walk into their side of the river? They back off of the Baron, and instead will look for mid-wave. Over the wall, flash from Lyonz, and there you have it! Gravity well onto everybody with the Equalizer, and Shopify Rebellion yet again on the receiving end of Licorice's Flame Spitter. Double kill to Hena, and Oddielan's flashing forward for more. Palafox goes down, Licorice picks up another one, and LYON yet again with another clean victory. They plant their flag and say, we are the team to fear right now for Split 2. This might not be the game-ending push, but that's a hell of a statement versus Shopify Rebellion. They have another wave coming in here, and they're going even further. Oddielan's underneath the Nexus turrets. I think LYON can do it. No, they're going to back away. Again, very patient team. They did this last week, but they've already cracked the base.
Yeah, they're gonna leave behind some demolition, but definitely don't want to over test yourselves here. Everybody's 50% HP and don't want to risk anything else. Of course, Nexus turrets do respawn, so too big of a risk there. Now for Shopify, you're still so desperate. They're looking to just stop as many backs as they can, so you can't actually reset. And your idea is to try and like draw it out by desyncing enemy recalls. Sometimes you can like get back into games that are really far out of your favor. That way, if you can just like desync recalls, maybe pick one person here, and then the rest of them come back, and they're all one by one. But I mean, this one is just right up next to that brush that has a control ward in it, and so perfect engage right out of it, and it allows for the full layering. As far as your question earlier, Bvoy almost got locked down on the Rumble ult the whole time, but Bvoy used his ult to get out of there and barely was able to escape the fire.
The Magnet Storm on the two of the carries set it up beautifully for the rest of LYON to follow up. I think you'll take losing Saint in that exchange. Right now we're back to live here. 7,500 gold lead advantage for LYON. Dragon spawning in 1:45. So they have plenty of time to set up that objective, but right now it is still the Baron that all these players are putting their attention onto. Yep. Either one of these teams picking this up could be, or at least for LYON, it could just be the end of the game. For Shopify, it's a way back into the game if they can manage it. They were very close earlier.
I like too if Fudge could also go blue trinket, so you can have three blue trinket cooldowns in situations like this, where like if you're getting close to any of these brush or any pocket of fog of war, then you get engaged on really quickly.
Yeah.
Having the extra blue cooldown can really be a lifesaver sometimes, but they have a couple available to them right now, so nobody should be walking too close.
Look at the engage options here. We do have Equalizer for Licorice. He could try and lead with that. It isn't great if you don't have it locked down immediately, but LYONz with Flash and Magnet Storm could set it up. Instead, it's just to push up the mid wave. Shopify Rebellion are trying their best to just maintain control of these lanes. They have no control over top or bot. Both are shoving in, so they're losing waves, they're losing XP and gold, but they really don't have other options right now. It is just the nade ramp for them, as they will now look to approach in towards the Baron. There's the Twisted Advance, and yeah, Nature's Grasp is enough. Licorice now roasting through Contractz. Shopify Rebellion don't find anything. Contractz looks for the Glacial Prison, misses, and no follow-up nearby anyway. So Shopify Rebellion have to limp away. They don't have their Sejuani ultimate, and also Contractz is low on health, so this could just turn into Dragon Soul along with the Baron.
It's definitely looking like that. Kangas, I think I would definitely put my money betting on that one, because Seos is... He's trying to lead them on a chase.
Oh, Saint with the Fate Seal follow. Quickness from Seos. I don't even think it tagged Saint. One more auto, and Saint will pick up his second kill of the game. That will be Dragon Soul for Lion.
With this, Lion as a team, I think, are for sure proving themselves as the top of those kind of bot half teams, the bottom four. So now they get to look forward to tomorrow as well. I believe TL is their next opponent, and that would be, you know, cracking in to the top four teams that have thus far kind of kept to themselves and, you know, been on another level. So very excited to see where this Lion team progresses from here.
After today, everyone's going to be asking, how good are Lion? They engage here on the Fudge. Lock him down, take him out. 0-6 for Shopify's top laner, as Lion have been punishing him every single chance with Baron-empowered minions. You have to imagine this is it. One final engage, under turn, roast him down. Lion go 3-0 to kick off the split.
Hey, Bvoy lived again. Kangas, can he win?
I'm going to imagine that's a no, Kobe. I'm going to imagine that's a victory.
You're going to go bald if he...
You know what? I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. I don't think there's a lot on the line for me, but there's a lot on the line for a Lion. They are 3-0, Kobe, to start off the split.